So I really have a passion for distilling and crafting products, and that is reflected in the products we make and how we run the business. We put our heart and our soul into the products, and we want to reflect what we believe the art of craft distilling is in our products. Every product we make is a reflection of the place. It's a reflection of Wild River and our journey and how we came to be Wild River Mountain Distillery. So when we established Wild River Mountain Distillery, we had moved to the Wild River a few years before, and we had realised that this area was such a unique climate and it was such a great spot, unlike anywhere else in North Queensland, with the cool nights, the winter frosts, and still getting the warm summers. So each barrel of rum or whiskey that we produce, there's a real reflection of the Wild River and the area that barrel ages in. The barrel, from the fermentation process to the distillation process to the aging process, it's really influenced by the weather and the surroundings. So the barrel, just as a wine barrel ages, is a real reflection on where the grapes were grown, and we really want to reflect that. And it was a real drive for me when I established Wild River Mountain Distillery, that each barrel is a reflection. The glass of whiskey or the glass of rum, you really want to taste and experience where that whiskey was aged and where it rested before it was bottled. So when we started experimenting with our products, we looked at all different types of grains, we experimented different types of yeast. So we have a very selective process we use, with starting with the barley and the water. We use some of the best barley grown in Australia for our whiskey production, and also in our Australian whiskey we use beautiful locally grown corn, which has some unique flavours. The Atherton Tablelands is renowned for growing some of the best corn in Australia. We do everything on a small batch scale. Everything we produce, if we're not happy with it, we don't use it. We're not here to fill barrels, we're here to put quality spirit into barrels. So we really have a passion to create craft spirits. When I started Wild River Mountain Distillery, I really wanted to showcase the art of a craft distiller. So when our customer buys a Wild River Mountain Distillery product, they're really experiencing what a craft distiller can create. All of our products, including our gin, we handcraft from the ground up. The distillation process is something that has always amazed me. I look at it and it's been described by a lot of people as art meets science. You are creating something magical when you are distilling something, whether it's a whiskey or a gin. You bringing all these different flavours together to create this finished product. When you're crafting an oak barrel and you're filling that with whiskey, that is, to me, like, that barrel is a piece of art, and I am trying to make the best barrel of whiskey that I can. That is what inspires me to create the best. Each barrel is an artwork. When they try a Wild River Mountain Distillery gin, for example, it's handcrafted utilising underground spring water that we pump out from underground that flows near the distillery. Pure, crystal clear, amazing spring water. All of our spirits are small batch handcrafted. We look for the best raw materials and have a real passion for quality. So we need to look at every aspect of the distillation process and the ingredients and use the best raw materials we can find. We didn't necessarily want it to come out and look at another distillery and say, hey, I'm going to do the same as them. I'm a big believer in cutting a trail and making your own path. I don't think that you can live life looking over the fence and saying, hey, I want to do that. I believe that you have to set your own path, make your own trails, and that's what we're doing at Wild River. So we've created a numerous amount of products. Our 1875 Australian gin. 1875 was the year James Mulligan discovered tin on the Wild River. So everything we create, we're trying to relate it back to the place that it was created. Our single malt whiskey is called Elevation Single Malt Whiskey. Our distillery sits 2,850 feet above sea level. The elevation and the climate is reflected in how the whiskey ages, hence the name Elevation Single Malt Whiskey. When you look at the passion and the drive we have for distilling, I really believe that is a reflection of the area and a reflection of the Wild River, which is Wild River Mountain Distillery.